Last Thursday, Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, who was up for re-election in 2022, went on the Joe Pog show. Don't know who that guy is, but it's a conservative radio show. And during his interview on the program, Senator Johnson was asked about his views on the January 6th Capitol Hill insurrection, the terrorist attack. His response was ridiculous. Let's take a listen into his response.
White supremacists, they don't really believe that, but they know there's a percentage of those that they're telling that will believe it. That's really the game, right? I mean, there's no way people that you go to work with every day really think that you and I are white supremacists because we believe in conservative values, right?
Well, no, and let's face it, I'm also criticized because I've made the comment that on January 6th, I never felt threatened, because I didn't. And mainly because I knew that even though those thousands of people there were marching to the Capitol were trying to pressure people like me to vote the way they wanted me to vote, I knew those are people that love this country, that truly respect law enforcement, would never do anything to break a law. And so I wasn't concerned. Now, had the tables been turned, and Joe, this got me in trouble. Had the tables been turned and President Trump won the election, and those were tens of thousands of Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters, I might have been a little concerned.
Wow. It's a big statement, but it's a true statement. We see the recent history.
Well, and let's face it, people didn't board up their storefronts in metropolitan areas in case Joe Biden won. And now you take a look at what's happening in Minneapolis with the trial.
All right. Let me put a fine point on what this man said. He said that the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, quote, love this country, truly respect law enforcement, as they actually tried to kill law enforcement, but I digress, and would never do anything to break the law. They literally broke the windows of Congress. They broke laws, all the laws, but he completely ignored all of that. He ignored the fact that police were attacked. He ignored the fact that 5 people were killed. And during the interview, Johnson also called for states to sue in order to block H.R. 1, the voting rights legislation that also bears the late John Lewis's name, and empathize with Derek Chauvin, the police officer charged in the murder of George Floyd. James, you can't be more transparent than this, because he said, I wasn't afraid. You know why he wasn't afraid? Because that was his cousins and them. He wasn't afraid because those were his people. He wasn't afraid because they are all white supremacists. And why would he have to be afraid? He's right. Why would he have to be afraid of people who are there to do his bidding? But instead, he was going to be afraid of Black Lives Matter. This has got to be the most transparent example of racism and white supremacy that I have ever seen. But yet they're stating it as if it was a virtue. They're stating it as if they're saying the host was like, oh, that's a big statement there, but it's definitely true.
Right.
I don't even know what to say other than I don't know what to say about this, man.
My face, man, because that
I
can see in the camera just like what the hell,
man.
Bruh, I don't keep conservative values. Oh, okay, your white supremacy. Let's just say it. Let's just call it out.
Yeah.
Your conservative values, white supremacy. Thanks.
Yeah, man. And this is the pinnacle, right? This is the transition that's happening in this country. We played a clip last week of Tucker Carlson as he was attacking the military, and now you have conservatives who are calling for half of the defense budget to be cut. All right, I'm going to parse something here, and I'm going to go into some topics that I haven't gone into in a long while. You also have people who claim to be leftists who are now declaring that Donald Trump is more progressive, not than Joe Biden, but more progressive than AOC and the squad, right? And what's happening has been happening. They've been trying to do this for years. What they're trying to do is make an alliance between the left and the right. And now they found the perfect way to do it. What they're trying to do, and I should have said, quote unquote, the left. What they're trying to do is to sacrifice. Actually, before, I got to set up one more thing. There's a video clip. I don't have it, but there's a clip of Marco Rubio joining in on this. And I'm going to talk about this in a minute with Mike Elks, because Marco Rubio is now attacking Amazon. And he's not attacking Amazon from the angle that you would expect. He's attacking Amazon on the side of labor, ostensibly. But the way he's attacking them is because he's calling them woke supremacists, calling Amazon, saying that Amazon is doing all this woke stuff, but they're hurting labor. Now, you gotta care. You gotta walk with me on this, because obviously Marco Rubio doesn't give a damn about labor, right? Marco Rubio is part and parcel of the right to work movement across this country. The state of Florida, it's a quote unquote right to work, which means that you could be fired for anything. They don't give a damn about the labor movement. All they really care about is how they can put a divide in the left of this country, how they could divide and conquer. And the way they're doing it is, oh yeah, no, we're totally against rich people now, so long as you guys don't bring us your wokeness. So long as you don't bring us your identity politics, so long as you don't bring us anything that's going to help liberate people, right? So now you have big time, big name, quote unquote leftist journalists who are attacking the trans community, the bi community, right? And then simultaneously, Glenn Greenwald declaring that people like Donald Trump, or not Donald Trump, who did he say? He said Steve Bannon, right? Donald Trump's henchman, that he's a socialist, right? And so what they're doing is they're muddying the waters to try to convince as many people as possible that the right, that conservatism is exactly the right place for the leftist movement to be. It's completely asinine, but they have been trying to do this for years. For years, they've been trying to find a way to make an alliance between disillusioned leftists and Nazis on the right. You even got this super famous Tim Pool, this guy who's famous on YouTube. And now he has been a conservative who has consistently and relentlessly attacked Black lives, consistently and relentlessly done the bidding of corporations in the top 1%. This is the thing. Like, you got all of these Republicans now who are trying to use populist rhetoric to declare themselves to be on the side of working people. And what the left has to give up in exchange is the idea of liberation, the idea of quote unquote wokeness, the idea that we should be concerned about the identities of people because this country has attacked us specifically about our identities. I'm going to go into this a whole lot more. Because it is a concerted effort that's being pushed all around us. And it goes all the way back to Tim Scott. Tim Scott coining the phrase woke supremacy. And what we're going to see is people who are now willing to sacrifice the identity and the liberation of marginalized groups in exchange for right-leaning national socialists who declare that they are in favor of the working class, when in reality, all they've done is found a nice way for them to make you angry without you fighting for liberation anymore, without us fighting on behalf of marginalized communities. If we are willing to give up our fight for immigrants, our fight for the LGBTQIA community, particularly the trans community, if we're willing to give up our fight for anyone's identity, fight for Black lives, if we are willing to give that up, then sure, Republicans say they'll write you a check. They'll give you a handout. All the while, they're going to continuously be doing the bidding of capitalism and imperialism in this country.